welcome back to the Telus ESports series. I am Leaf, alongside me, Lemon Kiwi, and we told you it'd be a quick break, so I hope you're all back. We got our next match coming up very soon here. As we're watching our casual bracket, we've had a month of league play, Jen, leading up to this, and now the teams are finally getting to prove their mettle in this final bracket here.
Oh yeah, we're just concentrating all this talent towards the end. We're gonna go into that other semifinals of Grand Platts versus Coastal Esports. But just to say, lower bracket wise, we're seeing some incredible runs. I think we were just told by our team, was it Cherry? Tell me, leave a Cherry team.
Cherry squad. They're making a tough lower bracket run. It's best of ones down there. It is best of ones. It is chaos. It's a bloodbath. And they've currently eliminated the 9th seed, the 5th seed, and the 2nd seed in their run down through there.
Wow.
And you can see, according to this here, they got to face Dumpy Chubbs, who we've seen before, who were knocked down earlier into that lower bracket. So this it's going to get tougher and tougher down there. It is not easy. Unfortunately, you can see some teams are eliminated. Their journeys have ended. Major League Boolers, one of those teams that are done. We know they had a lot of fans out there cheering them on. But there'll be no more, so you have to pick a new team here. But we have lots of those left. And again, as you mentioned, coming up next is some teams we have actually seen before as well. Coastal being one of them with Adum and Brisk. I think I was doing that with Nose Dude is when we watched them on broadcast. But yeah, they're looking pretty solid. I mean, I think they'll be one of those teams that can put up a fight as long as they come out looking strong. But you also have, of course, Grand Platts that you have to be watching out for. This was the first seed in Group B during that group stage.
Yeah.
Jen. So it's not going to be an easy fight for Coastal here.
The Grand Platts, 12-0 undefeated in Group B, but on the other side, Coastal Esports, the 2nd seed, 12-0, both undefeated, and yet to take an L, even in playoffs, semifinals, you have to win to get to this point. So this is going to be a really good match. And I'm glad you said Coastal, because I said Coastal thinking of like my biology, like intercostal spaces or something. So my degree needs to chill out.
Not the time. This is Rocket League. There ain't no time for thinking and brains around here, all right? It's C-ball, hit ball.
Oh, yeah. Me chase.
This is what these teams are looking to do. Best of 5, Grand Platts, Coastal Esports. As you said, neither team has lost at all. On the casual side here of the Telus Esports series, someone has to today, though. Someone has to lose here. Actually, both still have an opportunity to lose eventually, but in this one, we'll see if Grand Platts or Coastal takes a dub. First goal, almost in. Saved on the goal line by Brisk. We've seen Brisk before. I'll be watching out for his ground play here, but big body beast shows what that big body can do. It just jumps on the ball and plows on through.
Oh, with 2 defenders there, too. That is not easy, but in just Grand Platts, the best seed, the number 1 team coming into playoffs. So we can just show the scoreboard real quick. Oh, here we go.
Oh.
The goal diff. Okay. I didn't want to miss anything. But the goal diff is just basically how hard you beat the other teams or how bad you did it. So Grand Platts are a force to be reckoned with.
Let's see if they all keep living up to their name. Big body beast, the big bully in the net there. We'll see if speed accuracy has exactly that when it comes to the striking power. But there is Rain. Making a rain as they take their 2nd goal. Grand Platts showing Coastal what's up.
Oh, yeah, 2-0 in the first 2 minutes. Pretty scary stuff, but some fast play, and I'm sure through the best of 5. I mean, we've seen this in every series. Teams, they learn, they adapt, and they overcome. Now, Grand Platts just going to deposit that in the corner, go grab their boost, because resource is important if you want to keep up this fast play. As a demo comes in from Grand Platts, it's all up in the air, buys time for Coastal Esports to get their defenders back up. As Gamer, he's going to get beat. He's going to get beat by Grand Platts, so see how much pressure, but they're not really applying pressure. Grand Platts are just kind of letting this one go.
is the battle of the casual divisions right now, with Grand Platts representing the top of Group B, Coastal Group A. Grand Platts are showing that their group was the better group so far. Lots can change. This is a best of 5. So plenty of opportunity for Coastal to come back. I mean, there's still plenty of time in game 1 to show that they can get some goals themselves. 2 minutes left, past the halfway mark. And a brisk, like I said, watch out for that ground game. We've seen that in the past. He can get some dribbles going, but he's not getting that space that he might be used to from that group stage.
Oh.
And there, big body beast doing what we expected, just diving in, plowing through, and getting that octane in the way.
Yeah, Rain sets it up in the corner, but there was like this unfortunate bounce from somebody from Coastal ESports that it felt kind of went ball down, and it just slowed down the ball enough for the player from Grand Platts to move forward and get a shot in. And for 3-0, 2 minutes left, I'm not saying like you can't come back. It's just, this is getting a little bit out of pocket if you're Coastal ESports. I haven't really seen them apply that same pressure.
Look at this. We have Grand Platts bumping into each other on the offense, using each other to pull shot save on defense. They're in their own faces right now, and Coastal isn't punishing that. That was pretty funny. Grand Platts definitely want to clean that up, because they're probably not going to get away with that for too long. Is that rolling in?
Oh, my eyes. Well, in a good way if you're a fan of Grand Platts, but not so much for Coastal ESports. You're going to be kicking yourself for that one. Brisk. Oh, we did get a piece of that. It just kind of topsy-turvied into the net anyway.
Well, it's kind of funny. The speed accuracy started with a good speed on that aerial, but then the accuracy was off. But then their opponents helped out with the accuracy, and then the speed was gone. So, not living up to your name.
Yeah. Oh, Rain. Okay, random shot from mid.
Yeah.
No one home for Coastal. You forget about this game. That's what that's telling me.
Well, don't forget about it entirely, because you got to learn what happened.
Oh, yeah.
and
You know,
fix
you're
that
right.
up
We still
next
got a
one.
minute.
But definitely shake it off, for sure. Because, yeah, this is out of control. We also saw that in our last series, though. You know? And it did get closer, where Tilly Boys almost brought it back, but Coastal's going to have to make those changes for sure.
Hat trick by Rain now. 6-0. And we've had a lot of Brazils in our regular season. For those that don't know what that is, it's a 7-1 score line. And, you know, there's plenty other terms of Rocket League that we're yet to teach you. But Coastal ESports just have to get on the board. And this is only game 1, but it's not striking a lot of confidence in the fans, you know?
Yeah, this is, yeah, no, you're right. If you're a fan of Coastal, you're definitely, you know, maybe looking the other way or taking the jersey off for a moment here, because it is chaos on the side of Coastal ESports. Half of the field. Look at the bumps. You saw it right there. Big body beasts getting physical as well. Push people. They're just cutting constantly. And that's something you usually don't see around this rank. It's like, well, you do see a lot of that cutting. Usually it's not coordinated cutting. It's just everyone triple committing. But they're doing it coordinated here. And that's the benefit of having a team that you play with for a while. And having comms to be able to talk to them. We almost got a result right there. Coastal was looking for their first goal. And I'm really hoping it happens here. There's a chance they can center that out, but they can't.
Yeah, you're just running so low on resources, and I'm not 100% sure if that's Coastal not having those rotations or if Grand Platts are stealing it, but you can see that Coastal ESports just can't keep up as the time goes by. You don't have boosts, you don't have a chance, and even people like Adhum just haven't been able to be involved in these plays. And when you're 2v3 like that, it's just going to run away from you. So game 1 goes to Grand Platts.
Yeah, that was very runaway. We didn't get to Brazil, unfortunately. I'm very sad about that. But we did see why Grand Platts are forced to be reckoned with. We saw exactly why they had 400 million goals in their group. because they cut. And at this rank, that is very hard to deal with. That is something that when you feel that kind of pressure, you almost feel slow, you feel lost. You get to the point where you're like, I don't know what to do. The key thing here is going to be waiting for your opponents, waiting for Grand Plats. If you're Coastal, you want to wait for Grand Plats to make those cuts, potentially double commit, and then try to punish them on that, because eventually one will come through. If they double commit, get in there, try to get that long clear, at least move up the field together, get those counterattacks. So they'll have to focus on that and just be super strong defensively. But until they can do that, Grand Plats are going to keep cutting, Jen. They're going to keep in the faces here of Coastal, especially from Big Body. Big Body has been just in their faces.
I love that name too, but not only everything you just said, but also talking to each other and listening to each other. And you need a pretty good gaming headset in order to do that. And of course, one of our wonderful sponsors that is adding to this prize pool is Turtle Beach. And they provide the world's best-selling gaming headset brand, pioneering first-to-market features, innovations, high quality, comfort-driven, and all of that good stuff. So shout out to Turtle Beach and all of our wonderful sponsors and Brisk. Oh, I thought that was going in.
He heard your inspiring words. He's like, all right, we can do this now. I forgot that was on the line. Let's go. Wasn't quite a goal, but hey, the inspiration's there now, and
it was cool though.
Yeah, it was. That's all that matters ultimately at the end of the day. They gotta keep this offense up though. They gotta have someone there to pressure that, because the second that you get Grand Plats on offense, watch, they're going to creep up hard here, and watch how much they're just going to cut and push when they're on offense. That's they just keep doing this. The Coastal needs to make sure that ball does not end up on that side of the field.
Yeah, Grand Plats are just disrupting every play from Coastal Esports, and we even saw in Game 1 how some of the players of Coastal maybe lack the resources, the boost to be able to just immediately convert these plays or even these mistakes or these missed touches from Grand Plats. But this is an opportunity for Coastal, and not realizing it in time, it goes back to the orange zone where Grand Plats can continue to apply that pressure.
Yeah, they're getting the boost steals, everything. So Coastal definitely needs to have a bit better stature defensively here, because they're kind of, again, as I said, looking lost. They're not understanding how this pressure is working. Make sure you're getting yourself deep into the net, getting that turn. Give yourself some time to react to any of these shots that are coming in, and you're going to get better chances for hard clears as well.
At least that's what Coastal Esports are doing right now, is just a lot of clearing. But as soon as they... well, that's not it. Grand Plats get their first goal of the game.
Yeah, that was confusion on who should be going for that ball there, and Adum and Brisk run into each other. And that's another one of those you hate to see at moments, for sure. But this is less of a blowout, though, and that's good for Coastal. But I definitely feel like they're still hurting from the pressure that Grand Plats are putting on.
Yeah, it's just everything. Every time Coastal Esports tries to go down the field, it's just like converted right back, just like Big Body Beast just did right now. What's that? You want to do something? No, you're not allowed. And it just keeps happening. But Coastal with good touch downfield, but it's just always in the Coastal end. And as soon as they leave, they get scored on with an open net again. And it's Rain this time, putting Grand Plats up 2-0.
Yeah, this is definitely looking like this series is going to go Grand Plats' favor the whole way through, unless Coastal makes some serious changes defensively. They're feeling the pressure, and sometimes you just get an opponent that's too fast, and there's not much you can do except hit the training for a couple of weeks and come back and try again. But you don't have a couple of weeks here. You got one best of 5 to try to prove it. And Grand Plats are proving they might be a little too much to handle here for Coastal Esports.
Yeah, you're telling me, but what a tough opponent to face. At least this is the semifinals, so Coastal Esports, I mean, it was going to happen eventually that you were going to face your toughest opponent. And these, believe it or not, both these teams came in without a loss in both the regular season and up into this point, and pinches off to the side. It's up in the air. Coastal going to try and tip it out of their end, but it's just constant offensive pressure from Grand Platts. They have to do a quick save, and then they convert it so quickly, and all I'm seeing is Coastal chasing, but not really taking charge, right?
Yeah, look how fast they're getting to the air, too. Big Body Beast is the offense guy right now. Rain's been doing a good job of being that third man and recognizing how to rotate back. That just allows Big Body to get up whenever. And you can see the comms there, too. Speed accuracy was thinking about going up, didn't have enough boost, and you saw him turn and then turn away. Probably the comms of like, hey, I'm up. Because Speed definitely couldn't see his teammate there, so they had to calm that one out. Big Body just jumps in with what his teammate's name is. He had that speed and accuracy, so big Body definitely running house here, but all three players creating that pressure.
Well, Grand Platts just have already set that high score in game one. I mean, it was like 7 or 8-0, something like that. I don't know, you really wanted your Brazil, but obviously not able to dunk as hard in game two, but it's not about goal diffs anymore. They did all the work they needed in the regular season to give themselves a better seed in playoffs, and Coastal haven't had a single goal this series, I think. So it's just, it's a bit of a team diff, and it's surprising considering Coastal had a great regular season run.
This, you say that the goals don't matter anymore, but for Grand Platts, they haven't been given that memo. We're racking them up. Doesn't matter. We want as much screen time as possible. Give us the goals.
I thought it would be cursed to have Grand in your name for Grand Finals, but
yeah.
Well,
really, they're going for the Grand Champ play, but they're just Platts. We're Grand Platts. These guys are definitely above Platt though. These guys are probably if the cutoff's Diamond, these guys are probably D2, D3, probably high Diamond for sure. I wouldn't be surprised
grand D2s. And they haven't even stopped running up the score. And I was about to say, okay, they're not going to beat their high score in game one of 8-0, but sheesh, we're at 6-0. It's just been back-to-back goals and no break, no calm in the storm. Coastal are just caught out, and you're thinking, okay, you learned from game one, but how much learning did you do besides maybe not let them high score you again? You haven't converted any goals yourself.
Yeah, I mean, as I said, I think that this is one of those situations where you're outpaced. It's ultimately at the end of the day, there are some teams that are just more skilled than you, and I think we've run into that situation. We've had a lot of close series today, but I don't think this is going to be one of them. There are too many things right now that are happening, aerial-wise and speed-wise, that Grand Platts are doing that I don't know if Coastal can keep up with. We'll find out because they're not out yet. They can still have a reverse sweep, but we haven't seen one of those happen yet today. Usually when a sweep is on the horizon, the sweep happens. So Grand Platts looking to do that as they set themselves to match point.
Series point for Grand Platts, and we were already kind of starting to get hints that maybe Group B from the casual division is a little stacked. I mean, it's the top 8 from both those groups coming in, and you have random power that's just popping off. You got Grand Platts #1 from Group B popping off, and Grand Platts are the #1 in playoff leaderboards too, not even just the Group B regular division, so regular season. So I'm really impressed with what I've been seeing, and I'm just impressed more and more by different teams because I thought Tilly Boys were popping off because this is a whole better gameplay of Rocket League than we had in the regular season. You know, we did have a couple 2v3s and some mishaps there, but this is really some of the best of the best.
Yeah, no, I think, again, Grand Platts from what we've seen. As I said, I think the cutoff is Diamond, so these guys have to be high Diamond. I wouldn't be surprised if they go play into ranked that these guys end up hitting at least C1. But there's still a couple mistakes here and there, but they're definitely showing that they've outmatched Coastal. These guys are they're not going to lose to Coastal. I'm just telling you that right now. Unfortunately for Coastal, I want them to keep fighting this great this is great experience for them, but I do think they're going to end up in that lower bracket ultimately after the series. They're just not contesting with a lot of those high aerials, and they're also, when they do contest, the touches are a little off, unfortunately.
Yeah, as we go into our game 3, just a reminder of, what these players are playing for, that ultimate gamer package. I know you kind of jinxed it there. You could be jinxing the fact that, they might not lose to Coastal Esports. There's still a game left. But
it's true. I shouldn't be counting them out, but sorry.
We'll see how the caster curse works. But just a big, again, shout out to our sponsors for the Telus Esports series, brought to you by Jinx Esports Canada. I know they're streaming on their end. So hello, Jinx viewers. And Best Buy Canada, Adamus Esports, Turtle Beach. And this is all powered by NorthernArena, the premier broadcast for the Canadian side of things, and putting a big spotlight on Canadian talent.
That's for sure. And I think while we wait for it, I think we do have bracket. We just take a look at, show you guys these runs as well, because again, Coastal fighting off against Grand Plat's match point right now. They're trying to get themselves into that match against Random Power, who took down Tilly Boys in a 3-0 before. We're seeing a lot of 3-0s. I'll say some of these aren't indicative of how the matches went, though. We've definitely seen a lot of these matches end up being pretty close games, 1-goal games, overtimes with Jen. We started off with a lot of those overtimes there, but ultimately we're hoping that we get that close of finals here, this upper bracket final and then grand finals, as we wait for those lower bracket teams as well to try to plow through. Those are best of ones down there. Scary time being down there, because you're one and done. You're out. And just a reminder, Cherry Squad continuing their run down in that lower bracket. They've now made themselves into the quarterfinals down there. That's I guess that sometimes one and done format worked for people. You catch them off guard, no time to adapt.
And Cherry Squad, that's not the last you've ever seen of them. They got 3-0'd by Random Power, and Random Power 3-0'd their way into that upper bracket final. But Cherry Squad could be, coming back with a vengeance. And that's what I love about lower bracket, just the fact that it's double elimination, because you get that second chance. You're playing at a deficit. If you go back to the grand final from the lower side of the bracket, there's still a 1-game advantage to the team that's coming from the winner's side. So you get that second chance, but you are playing a bit of a deficit. You got to reward the team that went lossless, of course, but I'm excited to see if Cherry Squad are, gonna make that run.
Yeah, well, we'll see, but they have to make their way back into the grand finals from the lower bracket. There is no bracket reset. Whichever team makes it through the upper bracket to grand finals will have a 1-game advantage coming into that, so they won't have to. They won't have to win as many matches. So coming from that lower bracket, first off, is scary because you got that best of one situation. Then you're also down a game coming into the grands there on a team that has had great momentum. And now we're seeing Random Power and again potentially Grand Plats be those two teams fighting for that spot into the grand final. But that'll be coming up soon. Right now we have to see if Coastal is able to make a reverse sweep. We've seen a couple games go to game 5, but anytime there's been a reverse sweep on the broadcast, potential on the broadcast here, it's not happened. We haven't seen a team, because that's hard, Jenna. I mean, mentally to be like, okay, well, we're down games. It's match point. 1 goal can kick us down to the lower bracket, and it's like mentally, that's hard to come back from to go through all those games afterwards.
And speaking of Random Power and Grand Plat, so if Grand Plats win this semifinal, they go up against Random Power, and they're kind of neighbors, group neighbors, if you will. They both came from Group B. Grand Plats was #1 team there. We said that a million times, but Random Power, just a reminder, they were the 5th best team in Group B. And, we might have a leaderboard that has them at different rankings that's, comparing both groups. But I'd be excited to see, a 5th seed against a 1st seed and just how that's going to stack up, because, seeds aside, that's just how you performed over a large amount of time, over several weeks. And sometimes you have a bad week, sometimes your player is sick, whatever. But all of that has to culminate to the best Rocket League play at your upper bracket final. Because if you win that upper bracket, you go to grands and you're guaranteed prizing, which is what this is all about.
What this is all about is having fun.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
But
And pricing.
Today, it's about prizing. Today, it's about winning. And today, it's about hitting some of those prizes. In total, between competitive and casual, $50,000 worth of prizes in a bunch of swag and gift cards. So it's there's a lot on the line here eventually for these guys. There'll be a few teams getting prizes, but for first place, you want to aim for that. And again, ultimately, at the end of the day, you're in a competition now. Even if it's the casual one, you're in a competition. You want those breaking rights of saying, "Hey, I won this. I want my Wikipedia page is getting updated with a win for this tournament." You want to have that dub. So this is going to come down to the wire. And looking forward, honestly, Random Power has to be sitting there waiting, watching this match, saying, "Oh, we might be in trouble," because from what we've seen, all the teams so far, Grand Plats definitely are looking like the strongest out there. As I said, I would not be surprised to see these players go hit ranked and eventually get themselves into champ. Probably not too deep into it, but definitely into there, because these players look like they're gelling real well. They're playing confident on their aerials. There's a couple times I've seen they can be punished because their offense is a little too heavy, but right now Coastal is not punishing that. They need to make sure, to reiterate what I was saying before, Jen, is that they need to be rotating defensively a little better. Coastal are kind of scrambling. I think it's because they're feeling a bit of that pressure that they're not positioning properly in net. Maybe they don't know where to position in net when a situation like this happens, but they're not able to get good touches away. And they're either 50-50 the ball right back out in front of the box, where you just have Grand Plats just cut, turn, and dive on the ball again. You need to be getting that ball, as I mentioned before, to the side, or you need hard clears. If you're getting in a position defensively where you can just come out, wait for a double commit, wait for that hard pressure, all three players on your side of the field, dive in, get a hard clear, and now you're getting some open net goals across field. So that might be the only chance Coastal will have here if they're not going to play that high game and play those high 50s.
Well, you talked about, connecting that ball to the net, connecting the players, connecting with each other. But how about that internet connection? Because we've been kind of chatting away here, waiting for our game 3, because there's a player from Grand Plats that can't connect internet-wise. So that's a big deal. If this was Coastal ESports, you give a certain amount of time and then they would have to forfeit. And this was maybe going that direction anyway. But the fact that this is a disconnect from Grand Plats, I don't know what the substitute situation can be, but
I don't think there is one. I think, we're waiting right now for them to reboot their system. I think they're playing on console. Yeah, they're playing on PS4. So they got to reboot that, and then we'll see if they can get back in. Otherwise, this is going to be a little tough if they had to go into this down a player, because regardless of how good you're playing, it's definitely 2v3 is not fun. All right, we got everybody, so it will be a 3. And this may be the finish to the sweep here for Grand Plats.
And I did just get also confirmation from admins. If this person would have not connected, that would have been a forfeit too. So, not sure how that would have worked, but we don't have to think about what ifs. We got everyone back, so you got to shake it off Taylor Swift style and just get all your heads back in the game. And maybe this gave Coastal ESports an edge of, okay, we got to just have an extended break, talk to a coach if somebody, or your mom, your dad, your dog, and any kind of comfort, because you definitely needed playing at an 0-2 series deficit.
Again, it's going to be all up to how they play defense here. It starts there before you can get down to offense. And already kind of awkward with some of their the rotations defensively. They do make it out, though, and that's good. Brisk is that player I said, watch out for those dribbles. He tried to get one started there, but I was shut down pretty quick. And this is what I'm talking about. See that double commit there? You want to have someone on that hard clearing as soon as possible. And that just wasn't there from Coastal. You got to recognize when a miss like that is happening and punish real quick.
Yeah, Coastal ESports don't look as panicked. And I'm sure the way they're playing and the way they're feeling are two different things, because I would be panicking. But this is why I chose casting and not playing, because this is these stressful situations. You are at least on the upper side of the bracket, so you don't have to worry. But, you see Coastal, they were trying to cut to the left, and it's just blocked and saved by Grand Plats. And there's just these small opportunities that Coastal ESports are getting, but it's just so tough to puncture through the defense of Grand Plats. Meanwhile, there could be a chance for Grand Plats to get their first goal in.
And they do. That was a good demo, though, on the rotation back. for Coastal. Taking Rain out, that's one last attack you have to worry about. Unfortunately, Brisk did not get up to this in time to block that or even block that angle. And Big Body pushes one through. We know Big Body to be that offense-heavy player for Grand Plats, and they continue to do so.
It's a little bit more even in terms of play between two. It's not that absolute 8-0 stomp from game one. So things are working. Now you got some demos over on the Orange end. Coastal Esports having some space to work with, but the passes have to connect. And, well, you're not going to connect to anyone when they're dead like that. Tires just slash. Grand Plats making the most of the situation. Rain going to set up speed. Double commit from Coastal might have blocked that, but, man, Grand Plats could have taken advantage of that.
I think they're playing it smart now. They got the goal. They're going to hold that midline a little more. They don't need, as I said, if the way to punish them is to wait till they push all on offense and just get a hard clear. Well, it doesn't work if they stop putting everything on offense, and they also don't need to since they're up a goal. So Grand Plats recognizing they got the advantage here, and they're going to try to play a little bit differently. You might see Coastal on offense a bit more, but I think we're going to see stronger defense here from Grand Plats as a result.
Hope you guys are strapped in because we got the upper bracket final and then the grand final all happening today. And if you thought this was some awesome gameplay, wait till you see the competitive division where there's no skill cap at all. Of course, being above diamond is a requirement. Yeah. But you know what I mean. But Grand Plats shot to the left post. You see that Coastal are just chasing, and this goal is not going in over the accuracy of Grand Plats and these darn posts getting in the way. Not Coastal Esports doing anything about it. They need to clear this.
Well, they got their clear, but they didn't really do much to set up a play again. Adum's very insistent on remaining grounded. And it does prove trouble again when you're not getting up in the air for a lot of these contests.
Let's try.
Yeah, I'm just watching how they're handling their midfield right now on the side of Grand Plats. Playing relatively patient. Well, Big Body Beast is playing relatively patient right now at that mid because, again, they got that goal. There's no need to force anything right now.
Grand Plats playing ping pong off this wall, and it's just gliding past that goal line. Coastal Esports just clenching. They're just like, oh boy, we need to clear this. And they only need one goal to tie, so it shouldn't be this difficult, but it is. And I mean, you talk about game one, it was 8-0 or something like that. In game two, they had a lot of signs of life. So Grand Plats about to maybe tuck this away in the next 20 seconds. Coastal Esports, I believe they can tie it, but has to happen soon.
We'll see, 10 seconds. Otherwise, they'll end up in the lower bracket. Oh, this might be their chance. Brisk is up. A double miss there. And neither player capitalizing on the opportunity to get that goal. And that is going to, unfortunately, end the upper bracket run there for Coastal, and Grand Plats will move on to face off in the Random Power in the winners finals.
Yeah. And the winner of that goes to Grands, and then the lower bracket team, whoever climbs out of that will get a second chance at those prizes. And I know we were kind of hyping up Cherry Squad just because of how many good seeds they were beating in that lower side, and it's best of ones, and you just got to show up with your A game, and Grand Plats surely did that in this series. I mean, it starts with game one, 8-0. We were both sitting back like, oh, okay. It's going to be one of those series. Okay. But I think now they can go up against Random Power, and that's going to be certainly a good challenge.
Yeah, we'll see again. I'm looking at Grand Plats to move all the way through. I'm making early predictions here based on what I've seen. Random Power, definitely one of the stronger teams. Obviously, they're in the winners finals here in the upper bracket, but I do wonder if their aerial game is going to be enough. Jax is the player to look for. Obviously, Blue and Rising Chaos got up in the air too before, but I'm not sure they're going to be as quick as their opponents coming up here. So let's take a quick break here, get these players all ready to go, and our winners finals will be on the way very, very soon. Grand Plats and Random Power coming your way.